Good evening and welcome to a scene in London Ascending, a vampire venue. Tonight, once again, for, well, not the first time, we start our scene in the lounge that Laura seems to frequent quite a lot. Um, she's again sitting with her plus one man who's sitting like one table away from her, maybe two tables away from her, and she's waiting for a visitor. She is, as usual, wearing her business suit, and she obviously looks like a, at most, 19 or 18-year-old, maybe even young for that, but around that age, not more.
Mhm.
Um, and she's
What does she
waiting.
wear? What does she
She's
wear?
wearing like a business suit. So it's
Hmm.
like a suit with a skirt, but yeah.
Her shoes?
Uh, there's a bit of heel, but not much.
We see a man who enters the bar. There's an odd feeling about him, some kind of confident a way of moving. He's wearing a jacket, um, tie. Tie is not high, like it's not up in the. His like tie is kind of loose.
Yeah. Okay.
The he looks around.
You will see
And
that this quite young woman will just get up and nod at you.
he will smirk. See, he looks up and down at her. It's kind of like you see, he spent a lot of time in your shoes, and the more he should, and he starts going. And when he arrives, he extends a hand.
She extends a hand as well. She's just, oh, it's very good to meet you. Uh, Laura, you're Lauren?
Lorne Nygaard. He has blush of health.
She does not.
Hmm.
But she just nods and
Is she
smiles.
really cold or normal cold?
Normal. Normal cold is one of the kindred.
Hmm.
And she just gestures to him. Please take a seat.
He does.
Um, she just says, Nicole. Um, Nygaard, as you pronounce it. Um, I'm assuming uh, is that in
Fake name.
English?
Yes. He kind of smiles.
Where do you're not from the British Isles originally?
I am. I'm born and raised.
Oh, okay.
I love how Nygaard is pronounced.
Yeah. I would pronounce it a bit different, but Nicole. But oh well. She smiles a bit.
It is such a nice thing that you do that the you invite people and meet with them and have fun. It's something that a confidence and a good kindred would do.
Oh, right. I'm terribly sorry. Um, I have had a interest in building business and, well, a presence, shall we say, in the city, but it has taken me a good 50 years, give or take. And
Hmm.
it is now that I feel confident that I have a presence enough in the city to actually be able to introduce myself properly. That hence the delay.
That is nice. What kind of business do you do?
A couple of different things, but my main investments lie in the medicinal fields, pharmaceutical developments.
Nice. Do you are you one of those people who, you know, changes a little bit things in the drugs and then gives it to the um, market again? He kind of smirks.
Well, I will leave that to the people finding out what drugs works best.
Hmm.
I am merely a philanthropist that invests in hope and return on investment. I do not know too much of the drugs myself.
Really? There used to be a painkiller called the. He gives the name of the painkiller, and then the painkiller was getting old. It's like it was doing its job right, like a good painkiller should do. Do you know what they would do with the painkiller? And I think like your character would do know about that because like she's interested in the financial area. They take see they take the pill, add some new stuff, change the name, and give it to the market again. So what basically happened that they show the old rates of health, and they gain millions and millions of dollars.
Well, she just smiles and just says, "Well, a company that does anything really needs to make money, and while there are different ways to doing so, making money is well, tricky business, and sometimes it is a bit more questionable than others."
I mean, you know,
She just smiles. She's very, should we say, neutral or diplomatic about that.
he he's a smile on his face and he says, I mean, it's not like we do drugs for curing people. He smiles himself again.
Well,
If they,
doctors and researchers do, but the pharmaceutical companies, not always.
well, you would know better, but the if God didn't want humankind to be sick, they wouldn't be sick. Easy peasy.
Well, while I would enjoy to discuss theology, I'm quite sure you are more well versed in such things than me.
Why? Why I should be more versed?
I'm not well versed myself.
Oh,
And you brought up the theme, so I suggested it as well. I think that it would be a point of some knowledge
assumption.
for you.
I am. I don't think you're interested in talking about theology.
I might be.
What kind of things that you would like to talk?
Well, about the city as a whole, what do you think of the city, the current ways of the city? Have you heard? Um, well, will you be attending the Queen's get together soon?
He knows. It will be rude to refuse the call.
Quite so. But sometimes we are, unfortunately, called upon to do other things.
I know. The city is a flourishing city after the war, especially. Everything is going well, and I believe everything is going to be fine.
Quite so.
You
I hope
think
so too.
you don't agree with me?
I don't think I know too much of the city. I haven't been involved in it for too long. Well, not long enough to have an educated opinion on it, to be honest.
He knows.
I mean, there are people who have stayed here for hundreds of years. I'm quite sure that they have a better idea of what's happening.
Well, I'm here for 100 year. 100 year. Saw the Second World War, the First World War. I have been the Second World, the Stabat or Battle Blitz. Have you heard about it?
I've heard quite a few, and heard of quite a few who was veterans of that war.
You know it.
I was still in York at the time.
How was York at that time? I heard it's beautiful in summers.
Well, it was good place to stay for the time I stayed there. It was less, what shall we say? There's fewer of us there, and England has some countryside that is not as pleasant when we are, well, us. But other than that, no, I found it quite agreeable. But the Prince for so long dying does tend to shake up things as much as I'm guessing that Battle of the Blitz did.
It killed the prince, and we have a queen now.
I've only very, very glancingly talked to her, but what do you I mean, I do not know much of her.
She is beautiful. She's charismatic. She's a leader.
Hmm.
She's a Toreador. Kind of smiles.
That clan seems to be quite represented here. Cannot say I disagree with that. I find it appealing.
It's London, one of the best cities in the world. Kind of smiles because it was a city for like 600 years ruled by adventure. The what did you heard about the old prince?
Steadfast. A quite well, stereotypical presentation of my clan.
Would you consider yourself as stereotypical or normal?
No, I believe that is a hard thing to quantify because, well, I'm quite sure that everyone outside the clan has a quite different idea of what stereotypes and what is considered, well, venture behavior, to be honest. I mean, I'm quite sure that I have a fairly warped position of what a toreador is, in honesty.
What do you think a Toreador is?
Sensual, passionate souls who care for crafts. Maybe it's something they did in their mortal life, something they find beautiful. Maybe after they've been embraced. I honestly can't say, but more poets than fighters, and then yet again, some toreador are extremely capable fighters. But I would not be as foolish to simply say that they are all a bunch of artists who spend their time in a atelier and just paint and gossip about paintings and singing all day. They're
I mean,
much
I'm a
more than that,
critic.
but
I'm terrible at singing. Probably really terrible at the um, painting. I'm good at arguing, though. Debating.
yeah. He just looks at him for a moment, just considers him. Huh. So do you consider that a passion of yours?
He nods.
Interesting. A professional debater,
Professional critic.
historian, critic,
I criticize everything.
a skeptic, or just
One usually does not criticize for the sake of criticism. The people who criticize things, they should be able to bring new approach to a problem, to an art.
hmm,
Criticism for the sake of criticism is useless. I criticize to make things better, and it is my passion.
he just nods. Yeah. Some kin, some kind I've met seems to maybe not argue for the sense of arguing or discuss for the sake of discussing, but to inflate their own egos. But I'm quite certain that the Toreador would like the challenge, I suppose you could call it, the intellectual twists and turns a debate takes. You have to be
The,
quite sharp to be able to, well, if you have a competent competitor in a discussion, to be able to outwit him, so to say.
Sometimes it's about creating a roadmap and following your roadmap.
Hmm.
I usually don't fight the wars that I can't win.
And now that is a very, very intelligent outlook on life, I suppose you could call it.
The
She, you can tell that she just has a momentary like phasing out when she says that. She's about to say something and then she just kind of just snaps out of it and just
Mhm.
looks at you and smiles. Doesn't say anything.
I mean, you can say everything you want here. Aren't you alone?
Oh yes, I have so many matters on my mind. I just thought of something. It's never mind me. It's irrelevant.
It's up to you to share or not. It's again
No,
up
no,
to
no. It's no, no, no. It's quite all right. It's quite fine. And
you. Want me to roll perception empathy?
yes, you can roll perception.
5.
4. Uh, does that count as well?
10. Keen eyes.
Okay, it's more than enough. You just needed one, so it's fine. You can tell that um, it's around the like you see a bit of a facial reaction around the time when it was mentioned like it's a very very good idea not to fight the battles that you will lose. It's around there that there's something like in her eye or something that little switch that she reacts to, and that's you think that's what's connected with her zoning out for just like a couple of seconds.
He looks at the man that you have on the room and he's like, who's he?
He is that is just my servant. He's making sure that I come grateful from safely from one place to another, and that he does what I say. Oh,
As a good
pardon me.
servant should.
Yes, pardon me. Would you like a
Uh,
refreshment?
what did he say? What did she say? Would you like what?
A refreshment.
No, thank you. Actually arrived here before I take it. He's not lying, like, you know.
Hmm. Like I always have him. Sometimes, well, when I'm meeting people for the first time, he is also carrying refreshments for people if they so desire. I
The,
believe that good manners are a very important thing.
it is. Good manners are really important. Kind of looks at Laura. So, welcome to London.
Thank you, Ernest.
What's your impressions on the people?
Yeah. Now, there's a bit more than there was in York, obviously, given to the nature of the size of the town, but, well, quite well-behaved people, a lot of Toreador, and, well, thus far, very well reasonable people.
He nods and smiles. He looks at the shoes again. Nice shoes. I really love the color.
Oh, thank you.
No problem. Well, I guess then I will see you at the meeting with the prince. The queen. Sorry.
Well, don't habits that hard. She just says with a smirk, and she just, yes, I look forward to seeing you again. It's been an absolute delight to meet you.
It was swell. I hope that your company will be really nice with the upcoming sales.
Sales?
Pills.
Oh, she smiles to him again. Like, she gives him like an understanding smile and a nod, and she just, well, I'm actually leaving myself. Um, would you, I hope you wouldn't mind escorting me out.
Please, let's go out together.
You can see that as she gets up, she just snaps her fingers, almost like she's commandeering a dog, but it's clear that it's the servant who's just like following her, like no question at all. And
He looks at her and says, "What's your servant's name?" He's really um he looks like he's really well educated.
oh, he is. He's very well behaved. I've made sure of that. His name is Martin. That's all he is.
Once there was a servant I saw that somebody was take his name. He was unable to say his name.
Hmm. Is that person still around, or?
No. Died in the war.
Oh. Yeah. Just she does. It looks as though she doesn't really know how to respond to that.
He likes the confusion on her face, a little confusion, and he says, Well, they're going outside, you know, like the night sky. Well, again. It was a pleasure to meet with you.
The pleasure was mine. And she smiles and curtsies.
I'm
Uh,
interested that it should be a really big business that you have to if you're building it for 50 years. And I would like you. I would usually like to know what kind of things that I could ask from people to pay brooms, so I don't waste my time. If you're interested, we can talk and help each other about which kind of places that you can help me, or I can help you if needed.
I'm quite sure we will have a generally pleasant and productive cooperation, the two of us.
I hope so. He extends a hand again.
And she shakes it.
Is she shaking it, or is she giving it like to kiss it?
She would actually, yeah, you're right. She would actually give it to kiss it.
Ah, you will kiss the hand.
Yeah, she just like it's almost like a giggle, but not
Mhm.
really. And she will just bid him farewell.
And he will leave.
And with that, we will have our scene come to a close. Thank you very much, players, for playing and watchers for watching. Good night.